live streaming session here from Encoder Fashion. And this is Rose. If you're not yet be here or you're the first time here, I'm from Encoder Fashion and I'm really passionate about making pattern, and I'm using CLO 3D software right here as you can see to make pattern. And today's topics, I'm super excited to show you guys on how to draft a basic top pattern using the traditional way while using CLO. And guys, this formula that I'm going to demonstrate, it will work with size tall, messy. So as long as it's not plus size, it will also work for children. So this formula, you can use it to draft children clothing, to draft, of course, I'm talking about female clothing, okay? I don't do male yet. However, though, I'm thinking about doing it in the future, but at the moment, I will focus on female clothing. And as you can see right here, I had this pattern drafted earlier, and I also have the snapshot of the formula. So first of all, I want to thank the members who actually joined me for the first month as well as been with me for a while. I just want to thank you guys so much for believing in me, and I will promise to work very hard to get the courses upload and focusing on making pattern for women clothing. So if you guys been here for a while, I used to be a seamstress. Then I actually seamstress in Cambodia where I grew up. Then I moved to America. I went to university for fashion design, and I'm still learning German right now so I can go to school and get a master in fashion design in Vienna, Austria, where they have this master program for fashion design guy. And for it's like any student, even okay, first of all, if you guys are in the European members, they only charge you like $25 per semester or 25 euro, okay? But for American, they charge you, I believe, either 350 or 700 euro per semester. It's super affordable compared to in the US. In the US, I pay 350 to 450 dollar per credit when I got my bachelor degree. And now I'm looking forward to go to school in Vienna, Austria, okay, to get my fashion design degree. However, though, let's get back to my session today. It's going to be drafting pattern. By the way, guys, when I said formula, it's kind of make it simpler. Like for me, I love the fact like the formula is always stay that way. If I apply that formula to draft any pattern, it will come out the same result. And I want to demonstrate that useful formula. Again, I used that formula over and over when I was in Cambodia, when I was a seamstress. And this formula works. I want to share that with you guys, and at the same time I have to show you this. So thank Annie for asking a question. She said, can I provide the formula for the back pattern? However, though, I'm not only creating for the back pattern, I'm creating for the entire process. And that formula will have some words and also some images like this. So first step, we have back internal line, and I listed out, let's say the back pattern, the first one, internal line is 1.5 centimeter, 3 centimeter, and so on. And I also will have it in written. So I will list this in a blog. When I'm finished with this, I'm going to work really hard to put together the blog, and I will have the link under this video as well as the future video. And by the way, guys, I will create a tutorial, not live, so I can actually connect it with you guys and spend time on talking about some other stuff. while doing pattern, which is a little fun. But when I create tutorial, I want to save you guys time by focusing on getting to the point and condense every information into short period of time where you can watch it and rewatch it, as well as have the blog link so you can go in and see the formula written as well as images. So first of all, if you guys have this similar learning skill, for example, for me, I'm good with reading, with images, and with hands-on tutorial. So I need 3 though for me to learn. I mean, I can learn because I can learn with different way too, but it take me longer to get the information. But if I have in writing, I have a hand-on, either professor who hand me the tape or who actually show me step by step, as well as images. I mean, images okay, but also it really help when it's come to formula and stuff. Now you get to like look at it and then put together the images as well as the hand-on tutorial go with the text. I think for me, it helps me learn better when I have those 3 kinds. So images, writing, and tutorial. I mean, some people like my husband or my children, man, they learn really fast, and they again, their first language is English, and I keep complaining about that. But because for me, I had to like, kind of process the English and put together the word. It's more complicated for me and it's slower to learn. So when I create tutorial, I will condense everything into small pieces, but I will have some information linked to go with it, and hope that helps if you're a first pattern drafting person, okay? If you're like been doing for a while, you kind of get idea what the pattern, the measurement, and so on. So this is step 2, 3, 4, and the formula will show you how to draft like back, front, pattern, and as well as sleeve, okay? And once again, guys, I share this formula with you because it works, okay? I have done it for a long time as a seamstress, and I can actually start a woman figure and use that formula and works every time, okay? So this is the step with images that I'm going to create a blog and list it later, and we will use that. And another important thing here that in writing, okay, so guys, bear with me, it's a number, but it's the division or the multiplication is really simple math. It's not complicated at all if we do it for a while. For example, the measurement right here, I divide everything in 1/4, okay, except total length. Total length, we don't need to divide it, but let's say bust circumference, waist, hip, and so on. And what I would do, I would take a photo of that, or you can print it out with you at home, and then look at those formula and follow along when I create the tutorial for it. Much easier, okay? And this measurement, this formula will create it for right here, avatar size tall. So I create the pattern or the measurement based on the tall, the default avatar, because it is easier for you guys, especially for practicing, guys. You just load any default avatar size, you can just draft it and then dress her, and then you're good to go. For more advanced, I have some sort like a Missy, for example, when my design from college. Let me show you a couple. Encoder fashion, and you can also search me online, you will see a ton. So I have a few of my design that I drafted when I was in college. My college, that's not what I want actually. Okay, you got an idea, because sometimes I dress for the model, and the model have side, let's say messy, curvy, or side, you know, woman, or side messy, straight, something like that. And when I recommend, or on the side chart, for example, I think I can show you this one. Oh, maybe this will show. Okay, it's right here. So this is, oh, these are my one of the professor invited me to this fashion show, and I present this garment right here. It was awful. I like had to finish all this outfit for a 1 week, so I had to like rush through it, from sourcing the fabric, get them together, and bring the model. So there are different sizes, and I measure each of the model and then make the pattern as well as sew it all by myself in 1 week. So I had to rush through it. And right there, the traditional Cambodian clothing, which is, it was intense. And I also have that video listed on the channel too. Okay, so those are the outfit. So those, what I'm saying is, they're all different sizes. So if you in clothes, you have to go in and then change the avatar to different sizes. So now here I'm gonna throw out a little bit about the membership. So if you guys want to learn more about pattern making courses without advertising, you can join for $4.99, and you can watch all the courses without advertising, okay? As well as I will continue upload more courses about pattern making, from drafting, basic top to advanced. So this is going to be another basic top, but a little bit different than this, because I do a loose fitted basic top in this tutorial, okay? And so to speak of loose fitted, okay, let me close this out because we're good now. And this is the measurement, and I'm going to use this measurement guide for the pattern, okay? And I have set on my phone, so I will be looking at my phone while I'm doing this, and it's gonna be super useful if you print it out and then follow it along. And I also have extra information. It's just for the future when I'm going to draft a knit fabric. Right here I have, and I'm going to close this file because we don't need it anymore. And let's just open new projects. Okay, so I'm here in CLO. Let's press on number 2 and then bring that workspace down. I'm going to load the avatar, and you can either load the default avatar here, click on it, female 2, or you can load your own like customize avatar. For example, I have linked the avatar in the library already, so I'm going to go down there and then load Camilla. She's my favorite, and I already gave her some red lip and fancy shoe. So that's my I already gave her these lip and stuff. And by the way guys, if you guys are new to clothes and customize the avatar, face or hair and stuff, I believe I have a tutorial on show you on how to do that. You can go into, you don't even have to leave clothes. You can just go in and then give the avatar different lip, different eye, different eyebrows, even give her nude. Okay, so I'm not gonna do this at the moment, but I think I might have video created earlier. And if you guys have any question at all about clothes, about making pattern, some clothes tip and trick, please leave a comment under the video description, okay? So when you leave in the chat box, I can't see in the chat box. As soon as the video finishes, I can't see it anymore. But if you leave it the comment under the video description, I will see that comment later. Okay, so let's get started, guys. Draft a basic top pattern the simple and traditional way in close reading. All right, let's get to it. So right here, all right, I'm going to look at my measurement here. So as you can see earlier, the measurement right there. Let me close this because I don't need it anymore. So right here, this is the measurement. So we have the top length 63 centimeters. So everything here in centimeter, guys. So we have 63 and bust circumference 22.5, waist circumference 21, and now formula. Excuse me, my spelling. So formula, shoulder. So shoulder slope B, so back, internal line depth 1.5 and 3. So we start with that. So 1.5 and 3. That is the depth from the back pattern. Okay. So we use formula and then we will switch back and forth. I will have this on my phone, so I'm going to look at right here. All right, so now I'm going to use this rectangle tool, click on it to select. You can click and drag to create, or in this case, I'm not gonna do that because I want to give it a specific measurement for the block. So I'm going to delete that. So I'm going to use that rectangle tool there and then click one on the page and I'm going to type in the width. So the width, I'm going to use a hip circumference, like 1/4 hip circumference, and that is 22.75. 22.75, and the length of the top 63, and then I'm going to click on OK. And I'm going to adjust this pattern over here a little. And I'm going to change this fabric to this monochrome, translucent, so I can see this better. I like to see the avatar beneath the pattern. And I'm gonna come over here and click on this right there, this reset to the arrangement all, to have they kind of match each other. All right, so now formula come in right here. We will use this edit pattern tool, click on this top part first, right click, and then we want to offset internal line. So based on the formula, we have, okay, first of all, so we need 2 internal line for the high and low shoulder points, and we also need another internal line for the armhole, okay, and then we also need another internal line for the waist circumference. So total we need 2, 3, 4. All right, so we need 4. So I'm going to click on this top arrow right here to increase that to 4 and change distance here to individual. Then this is always the problem when I click on this. We want to change that to selected line, okay? Let me expand this window a little. And sometimes it doesn't like easy to drag it down. All right, so type in 1.5. Okay, it doesn't do it, I have to highlight it. 1.5. Press on the tab key, and then 3 centimeter. Press on the tab key. Now we want that to be, okay, we go to, so armhole depth. The formula for armhole depth is awesome. You want the shoulder here. Okay, so if you look at right here, we have armhole depth. So full shoulder length, the Y by 2 plus 5, okay? And I'm going to do that. So plus 5, example, plus 4. My spelling. All right, so in this case, I have, so 38 right here, and then the Y by 2, 19 plus 4, 23. So let's see if I do it right. 19 plus 4, 23, that's correct. I'm terrible with number, guys, but if I, make a mistake somehow, and I looked at the pattern later, I'm like, something off. So I went back and double checked my number. Sometimes I misspell the number. So if something wrong with your pattern and it doesn't come out right, go double check on your numbers, because sometimes we miswrote the numbers. For example, for me, if I work with the pattern a lot and then I kind of miscalculate the number and then the pattern kind of off, then you know why, because you used the wrong data. Okay, all right, so right here 23. So again, to create the armhole depth, you want to divide shoulder by 2 and then plus 4. All right, so we're gonna do that. So right now, the shoulder 38, 19, plus 3, so plus 4, 23. So I'm going to type in 23, okay? And then press on the tab key. And last but not least, the waist circumference. So I'm going to kind of speed through a little, okay? So it's gonna be 35, and that's not the formula, that's where we measure the waist down here, and it's 35. All right, so double check. 1.5, 3, 23, 35. Perfect, that's what we want. I'm going to click on OK. Next, we want to create internal line from the center. Right click and then I'll offset as internal line. And this time, let's see how many we need. So we need 1 for the dot line. The dot line is also where the width of the neck, which is 8.5. So 1 for dot line. And 1 for shoulder, because the shoulder right there, shoulder length, 19. And then we also need 1 for bust circumference and 1 for waist circumference. So we need 4 again. All right, so let's expand this window a little. So it somehow doesn't really come out so easily. All right, so we need 4. So once again, 8.5. Press on the tab key. 19. Shoulder length, press on the tab key. Then I'm going to type in right here. So okay, let me look at the measurement. So bust circumference 22.5, 22.5, and lastly, I'm going to type in right there the waist circumference 21. So 21. So formula 8.5, that's a dot line, and the measurement, okay, 19 for the shoulder length, 22.5 for the hip circumference, and 22.5 is the bust circumference, and 21 is waist circumference. Next, I'm going to click on OK. All right, next I'm going to lock all pattern outline. My key selects all these internal line, right click, and I'm going to convert to baseline. And simply come over here and then lock that baseline. Now I'm going to unlock the pattern outline, okay? And we are going to draw. So I will use this internal line here, internal polygon /line tool, and we're going to begin drawing from here, right there to this high point shoulder, and down here to this shoulder, low point shoulder, and then to this the measurement of the shoulder length. And then we want to come down here. So right here, we want to connect to this bust right there. Click on there, the bust. And then come down here. This is the waist circumference. And come down here, we want to come all the way to the pattern outline, because that is the hip circumference. And I'm going to press return enter on the keyboard to finish the drawing. Okay. So we're almost finished the back pattern. All we need to do is use a couple tools to create curve. All right, so I'm going to curve this area. We'll use this awesome tool. It's called Smooth Curve tool. We don't have a shortcut key for that, which is sad. So we're gonna click and then drag it outward. Then right click. And I'm going to click on the link angle together. And I'm going to type in 7, okay? After that, I'm going to click on okay. So 7 is a perfect number for me. And next I'm going to, okay, select the curvature tool, letter C, or come over here and then select this edit curvature tool. And we want to zoom in as close as possible. We want to click and then drag to create this curve. So we want to pay attention that we don't want this curve to be lower than this. Then this is point up, we don't want that. We want this kind of curve down, but it's not lower than this line, okay? And right here we want to create this little curve right there on the around neck, so it connects better, okay? And now we're gonna do this. right here. We can do this for the bag. So slightly in further than this line, but not too much, okay? So if for example, I dress it so many times, and you can actually have an idea how far you want it in. And right here, slightly in, but not too much, okay? And now it looks pretty good. Next, we want to create a front pattern from this. So, okay, now come with formula, okay? So I'm gonna switch the tool to edit pattern tool. All right, so we'll use this. We'll click on this internal line right here. Right click, and I'm going to select offset as internal line. So this is like hypothetically, if we use the chalk and paper or marker, we would just measure it one and then 1.5. But here we use the internal line. It's like we draw the line with a marker, but this is not a marker, but the same idea. Okay, so we only need 2. So I'm going to click down arrow here to create just 2 internal lines. First, we want to type in 1 centimeter, press on the tab key, and 2, we want to press on, type in 1.5, then press on the tab key to confirm. And look at my my internal line went the opposite direction. That's not what we want. We want to check this reverse direction box right here. Now the internal line come back to the proper direction that I want. So next I'm going to click on OK here to confirm. And okay, let's a little sync there. So this is MacBook Pro 16. Just want to let you guys know I use that for CLO and for my Premiere Pro editing and stuff. By the way, I will list this laptop link under my video too. If you guys want to find out more, or I have a question, I got a comment from a viewer said, you know, is it okay for MacBook Pro that used for CLO 3D or other 3D software? So far, I like it because it's work well with CLO 3D, and I use MacBook Pro 16, and they recommend 32 gig, although I only have 16 gig, and 16 gig is okay. 32 gig the best, but you pay like another $1,000 on top. So I said, you know, for now 16 gig is okay. 16 gig of RAM, I mean. So storage, I believe I have like either half terabyte or close to a terabyte storage. I forgot what it was, but I will have this laptop link listed under the video, okay? All right, so now go back to drafting the pattern. So we create this formula right here. So this comes with the formula. Let me point that out so you have an idea. So it's right here, the formula. All right, shoulder slope front, internal line depth 1.5. So from the shoulder slope back. So we not use the straight line anymore. We just copy it from the shoulder slope, okay? And now I'm going to, hey guys. Oh, hey guys. Thanks for watching, guys. So we're gonna go back. So this is the formula, and I'm going to get back and show you this. So now this is the measurement. We measure, or I decided to select the neck depth, in this case 14 centimeter. So 14 centimeter neck depth we want from this top line right here. Right click and then select offset as internal line, and we want to decrease that to 1, and then I'm going to type in 14 centimeter. And then instead of reverse, I'm gonna uncheck that reverse box right there. Now this internal line right here, that's what we want. And I'm going to click on OK here. All right, next I'm going to convert these 3 internal line into baseline. Simply press on Shift, then click on this line, right click, and we want to select convert to baseline, and we want to lock that. Somehow it doesn't lock automatically, we have to go in and lock. Okay, now we're gonna draw the front pattern. It's, guys, I have to admit, it's so much fun when you know what number to plug in. Like you do algebra, if you know the formula how to do algebra, it's so much fun. But if you don't, it drives me nuts. So here you have formula, plugged it in, you create this pattern. Okay, it's that simple. and the more you do, the more you see this pattern and this shape is so cool. All right, so let me go back to draw the front pattern. So I will use this internal polygon / line tool that is so essential in this pattern making in CLO guide. Oh, by the way, I forgot to mention that if you guys see right here, I have the ruler. You just go into the information icon and then turn on ruler. So ruler allow you to create guides. So if I like click, so okay, first of all, you have to be on the right tool. So either edit pattern tool or transform pattern tool. Click on that and then select right there, click, and then you can create guides like that, or click and then drag, create guides like that. Making pattern in CLO is amazing, and you can get really precise, like to the point. I will show you when, especially when drafting sleeve. It's amazing. Sometimes when we do drafting sleeve and we kind of off a little and it's difficult to, okay, first of all, I want to point out my friend Itago, she hates sewing sleeve. When we were in college together, she's like anti-sewing sleeve. She's like, oh, she just keep making mistake on sleeve and she didn't like it. But if you draft the pattern correct, it's not that bad sewing sleeve. With CLO, will be a piece of cake, okay? All right, so get back to that guideline. You can also right click on that and then you can lock the guidelines, or you can delete one by one or delete all the guidelines. So I choose to delete the guideline because I don't need it anymore. All right, so now back to drafting the front pattern. So I'm going to use that internal polygon / line tool. Click on that to select, and we want to begin it from this, see right here, this neck depth for the front, and then bring it up. So we want to get it close, like as close as possible, and we want to click one on that high point shoulder slope right there, and then bring back up here, and we want to click on this low part, okay? So right there, and we want to click on right there, and we will go back and adjust, guys, because maybe not close enough. And next we're gonna click right here, and I'm going to click it twice. Perfect, because we want to end the front pattern right there. And I'm going to change the tool to edit pattern tool, and right here, let me zoom in as close as possible, and we want it right onto the point, which is impressive how much we can get, how accurate we can get. And now we're gonna use the edit curvature tool. So click on it, and then we're gonna just simply curve in a little, not too much, because we want it kind of V-neck-ish, but curve a little bit to give it a natural shape, okay? If we don't curve it, it doesn't look natural, and that's not what we want. And right here, the front part, we're gonna bring it in, the bottom touch the bottom, but the front part, we want it just slightly in, okay? But not too much. Once again, guys, if you continue drafting for a while, you have an idea like how far you want it to end right there. It's just about that much, and it make your garment like more perfect than if you don't. It's more like about detail, guys. If you look at like a perfect super expensive suit compared to the cheap suit, the cheap suit, they don't care so much about detail because they make it cheap, so they have to like rush through it. Even the stitches does not look like I'm not gonna use the word dirty, but almost, because you can see missed stitches, not lined up, and also and even crinkle on certain area. But the expensive suit, if you look at the stitches and you just run your finger through it, it's so perfect. The stitches align with each other. It's amazing. So making pattern, the same thing. If you just want to slap everything together, it looks cheap. If you want to make expensive, take the time to make your pattern expensive. By what that means is you have the right formula and you care about small detail to build your pattern, make perfect. Okay, so that's my take on making pattern. And again, guys, I could be, wrong. But for example, if you, like for me, I was a seamstress and I had to compete with a bunch of my neighbor also the seamstress. I have to do it better to survive, or no customer want to come to you. So that's what it was. It kind of inspired me to do it, and the more I do, the better I got. And with making pattern, the same thing. The more I do, I get to actually look at the pattern. I can tell if the pattern drafted properly or not. If you pick up the t-shirt, you look at the t-shirt and you're like, oh, the one from Nike does look better constructed compared to you buy from Walmart. So if you are, if you are live in America, and I know that I wear clothes from a second-hand store, but they sell like super like Nike, Under Armour, all those brand, and they sell it for so cheap. They sell for like $5, and in a second-hand store, I wear those clothes. I don't mind at all. But and the clothes last too. So get back to my pattern drafting. So sorry, get off track. All right, so now this is just a hint of that would do, okay? And now we are going to trace this pattern and turn that into a basic pattern block. So to trace this pattern, I will first select the transform pattern tool, and I'm going to trace the back pattern first. Simply click right here, and I'm going to use the trace tool. I will press on shift first, and then click on that trace tool right there, and I'm going to click down here, and now all the lines are selected, and I'm going to right click. Okay, now I make a mistake here. So instead of right click, I deselect everything. So I'm going to start it all over again. Click on the back side, and then select and press on shift and click on the trace tool. Continue clicking, and this time hopefully I don't mess it up. So simply right click this time and then select trace as a pattern. Alright, so I'm going to simply click one to place the pattern. Okay, so now the pattern is traced. Next we want to trace the front pattern. So sometimes when I trace this pattern, it comes both. So let me give it another try. Why it doesn't come both? Because I also want the top part as well. So I'm going to trace as pattern one more time and see how that goes. So it doesn't come, it's okay. I'm going to remove that. And now I'm going to trace the front part. Simply go to these transform pattern tools again. This time we want to click on the front right there, front pattern, okay? Then I'm going to simply click on this trace tool. Press on shift first and then trace tool, and we want to click right there. So don't be shy, guys, to zoom in as close as possible, because if we click on the wrong line, then we actually make a copy with the wrong pattern piece, and we don't want that. So I'm going to zoom in as close as possible. Hover the mouse on top of that line, right click, and then select trace as pattern. Alright, so I'm going to click one right here to place the pattern. So now we have front and back. So I normally like my front pattern over here, because let's see if I want to like modify my pattern. Usually I do the front pattern, modify and stuff, like for a different design. But for this case, I still like it anyway. Okay, so first of all, let's move this pattern out of the way. I'm going to, my key selects all the pattern, bring it up here, okay? Then I'm going to select, come to this 3D toolbar, and then click on reset 2D arrangement all to rearrange this pattern. If you look at right here, now we rearrange all the pattern. And now I'm going to right click on that pattern, and we want to select freeze, and also we want to select hide 3D pattern, okay? So when we hide the pattern, now if I press number 2, you will not have these weird effects on the function. So okay, I will explain that later if you guys have a question further. Okay, so now I'm going to come over here, and then we want to make a copy. So I'm going to simply use this symmetric pattern with sewing. Because I want to flip the pattern, instead of flip, I create this copy. And then I'm going to remove this, the one I don't want. I can press on the delete or backspace on the keyboard. So now I have front and back pattern ready. And next we're gonna dress the sleeve. Before we're gonna dress the sleeve, I can either go in and then clean up all these baseline, or I can wait, do it later. So I'm going to wait. And right here. So first of all, guys, this dot line, if we want to create a, let's say, tight fitted top, we'll also create the dot on top of that line. But this one we don't, because we're gonna use the loose fitted top. We don't need the dot. All right, so now this is the fun part. I know drafting sleeve could be pain in the bag, but if you know the formula, once again, let me get back to the formula. Okay, first of all, let's save the garment. We don't want to lose it. So we want to go File, Save As, and Project. And I'm going to type in like basic top, because I did quite a few top before this one, basic top. And I'm going to copy that and go to desktop. I'm going to create a folder. I would recommend create a folder for your file, guys, because CLO, when you save the file, it comes with two files, PNG and the project file. Okay, I'm going to click on save. Alright, so next we are going to do the sleeve. It's pretty awesome. Oh no, it's almost time. Although I was kind of late. I might extend until we finish. By the way, thank you guys for watching. I appreciate it, and promise, when I create the tutorial, it will be just focused on the topic. No having too much fun. But hey, we are live. I hope you guys enjoy this, okay? Alright, so now we're going to measure it. Okay, first of all, let's go to the formula. Okay, dot line, so formula, so armhole depth. Okay, bicep. So bicep, measure the finish front and back armhole, divide that by 2, then subtract 4. Okay, so for example, this is my previous measurement. Okay, but it's the same thing, it's the same formula, it works every time. All right, so divide by 2 and then subtract 4. All right, let's get back to that. So I'm going to use this edit pattern tool, click one right there, then click one right here, and if we look at over here in the property editor, I see this measurement right here. We want to select 2D length 45.55. Let me write that down so I don't forget. So 45.55 and divide that by 2. Let me so 45.55 divide that by 2 equal 22.78. And then I'm going to minus 4. So let minus 4 equal 18.78. 18.78. So okay, we have two numbers here. 18.78, that's where we're gonna create the bicep circumference. However, the length we want is 22.78. Okay. All right, so you will see. It will make sense in a second. So I will use this rectangle tool. Click one on the page, the width. So 18.78. So 18.78. 18.78. Make sure correct. and the height that is the sleeve length, so 60, and I'm going to click on OK here. Alright, so make sure 18.78 is correct. Let me double check. So 18.78 and then 60. Alright, so next we're gonna right here, this is also part of the formula. We want to create the internal line here for 12 centimeter down, and then down here from the center out we want to create that for the wrist circumference, and that is 13, and I'm going to click on OK. I'm going to like speed up a little, guys, because I want to finish this part, so then you have an idea what the finished pattern will be. And I'm going to lock all the pattern outline, and then now I'm going to convert this to baseline and then lock it, and then you have to do it twice, which is kind of weird, but now you want to unlock all the pattern outline, and I'm going to use the internal polygon slash line tool, which is letter G, and then click right here, and then come down here, click twice, and I'm going to use edit curvature tool, which is letter C, then click on there, and back to edit pattern tool, letter Z. It's so useful with that shortcut key, guys. And look, so this is the number. So when we divided by 2, the number that we got 22.78, and as you can see right here, all we need to do is adjust right here, bring it up, so 22, and again we don't want this to go over because we want it curve, perfect curve, okay, and right here, so 22.78, so we can click and then bring this out here. So 22, right there, guys, you get the perfect sleeve cap. So if I click on right there again, 22.78, okay, so the formula works every time, promise. All right, now I'm going to cut that part, right click and then cut it. And remove the piece that we don't need. Okay, and now I'm going to unfold it. Let's just bring it out a little bit. Then click one right here on the center, right click, and then select unfold. And as you can see right here, we created perfect sleeve cap, perfect sleeve. Okay, and bring it down here, and let's just arrange them a little bit. How about create a guideline here, and we want to bring it up tighter. So what happened, the guideline allow the pattern to snap into the guideline, which is awesome. Now we can actually bring this up a little, and look at that. We not only create the perfect sleeve and back and front, we can also now align them and organize them perfectly. All right, so next let's clean up this thing. Oh, before let's just clean it first. So we have two ways here. We can use these. First of all, let me lock that guideline so it's not going to be in the way. So first of all, we can actually use the trace tool and go in and then do all those stuff, or you can unlock the guideline. Okay, so unlock the guideline and then use this edit pattern tool. Excuse me, unlock the baseline, and then you can use the edit pattern tool. And what we can do here, simply click and delete, and right here we have two, so I'm going to delete one and then extend that to pattern outline, and now we have perfect one line. And right here we can delete this part, and I'm going to show you some cool thing for a saga. So now looks like it's pretty good. All I need to do here, I'm going to simply click on that line, this line. Let's clean that up a little. Okay, right there, and we want to get that, right click and then extend to pattern outline, and now it's all nice and clean. So now we have the pattern outline perfect, and I'm going to lock that baseline back, and let's see. So now our pattern looks perfect. So at this point, I'm going to apply the notches, and then we will either continue or not, because I assume if you guys interested in making pattern, you probably already know how to sew. But if not, I will do the continue for next week. I'm going to create a copy and then sew it. So right now, let's create the notches. So notches, use this notch tool, and we want to create one notches right here and one right here, and we create like double on the back side. Okay, so kind of place the notch on there and then right click, and I'm going to type in right here. So we want the notch length from this bottom up, and what that does, when I click on the line length, and the short line length will have the yellow color and the longest will have the blue. It's not always equal, so be sure double check that the measure direction from where you want the notches to be. For example, I want it from here to here, so I'm going to type in right here in this yellow, so 9 centimeter, and then click on OK. And for example, I click right here, right click, and look, now my yellow line is from up here. I don't want that. I want the notch measure from here. So I'm going to type in this line 2 here, 9 centimeter. Now I have 9 centimeter. So that is it. Now the back, this is a little bit tricky. So we want to create 2 notches. We want to create the furthest one first. Okay. So right click, and then as you can see right here, now the yellow up, I don't want that. I want from the blue one. So I'm going to type in that 11 centimeter. Then click on OK, and then I will click another one. We want to create another notches, and right here the yellow part, which is perfect, and that will be 9 centimeter, and then click on OK. So now more notches. Once again, this is from yellow, perfect. So yellow is line 1, blue is line 2. Be sure to double check where the direction you want and type it in. For example, right here is yellow. I'm going to type in 11, perfect. And then click on that, and then right here I'm going to type in once again 9, and then click on OK. Boom, now we're finished. Okay, there you go guys. So I will continue, actually I will continue this session next week. Okay, so we're pretty much done for this pattern. Okay, all we need to do is place them on the garment and then sew, and of course we can do the finished look for the garment as well. But hey, I hope you guys enjoy this live session, and leave me a comment below if you guys have any question. And thanks again, Annie, for the question. I will promise to list that in the blog as soon as possible, and I will send you the link. And thanks again for all you guys support. You are the best member ever. Thanks you guys for watching, and see you next week, next Monday. Okay, bye.